Monkeys. I love that theme. Now, that's the only part of it that I remember. You just heard a little bit of it from that famous Monkeys TV show, but here's the most famous monkey of them all, David Jones, back in New York, and it's nice to have you on our show. Davy, thanks for being with us today. Yeah, we were having a little fun with the audience during the commercial, and I was kind of, you know, singing the theme and bringing it all back to Davy.
It was great, too.
Hey, hey. Listen to this. Now, you give me the next line.
Okay.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
People say we monkey around.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys.
Well, it's not quite right. We're too busy singing to put anybody down.
Hey, hey, we're the monkeys. I can't stop singing it.
We go wherever we want to. We do what we like to do. We got no time to get restless, 'cause there's always something new.
Actually, this group was put together by audition. Is that right? I mean, you were the original member.
Yeah.
And then they had an audition for a bunch of...
Well, it was a show about a rock and roll group. You know, the Monkees was a show about a group, trying to make it, and the different situations, different stories that got into their life. You know, one week we were involved as waiters in an Italian restaurant, and then we were involved in a haunted castle, and then we were sort of like playing at a prom. As you say, it was advertised in the stage or in one of the rags, the show business papers, that they wanted 4 zany characters that could play different parts, do different characters, and they auditioned about 450 lads. I say lads, boys at the time, and we were all very lucky, yeah.
And one of our viewers remembered all the names, just like that.
Oh.
Well, this was back in the 60s, right, Davy?
Certainly was. Yeah. It was a great time in the 60s. A lot of people are really sort of, they're still back in the 60s.
Yeah, right, sure. Never left.
Yeah, with music and things, in England especially, you know, whereas, you know, the 50s was a big thing with the crepe soles and the sort of like... the Elvis tunes and the sort of like rock and roll. Well, the 60s was a very important time for a lot of people. And there are many conventions, not just with the Monkees. There's a lot of Monkee fans, but other groups from the 60s, the Loving Spoonful, the Buffalo Springfield, the Mamas and the Papas. There's people still looking and searching for those albums and still appreciating that music.
Great nostalgia from that period. But you had another life before the Monkees, as you're having one after the Monkees as well. Didn't you play
I was a lion tamer, yes. I was a very rough... You see, this is why I have this.
You were not a lion
I gave up the lion taming because... wait a minute. My God, after all these years...
Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. But anyway...
And people say we monkey around.
But you were the Artful Dodger, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And Oliver is coming back to Broadway.
I know, and they never asked me to play the Dodger.
I can't believe it. You could still play it.
Ron Moody used to be a friend of mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could still play the part. I played the part of the Artful Dodger first in London in 1960. Then we came over to Broadway and for David Merrick, and we were on Broadway for a couple of years.
Sure.
And then in 1973, I talked to Ron Moody, who had played the part of Fagin in the movie of Oliver. But he had never played on the West End, on the Broadway stage, and so we talked about doing a show. We did it in California, in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and it was a big hit. And they're doing it again. But things last forever.
That's right. I saw you in California. You're absolutely sensational.
Thank you.
It's too bad you're not in this production as well.
You're right. Let's call the producers.
Let's call them right now and say, hey, hey, we're the Monkees.
No, I'm doing 1 or 2 other things.
I know you are.
Keep me quite busy.
Well, right now you're on the QE2, right?
Yeah, I'm still rocking like this.
What's that like? You're performing on the boat, I know that.
Oh, it's incredible. You know, I can recommend it to young and old. People seem to think you've got to be 90 years old before you can go on a QE2 and take a cruise. But it's not just the world cruise. You can actually go from New York to Southampton and fly back, and it's pretty reasonable price. But I do a couple of shows on the QE2, and the rest of the time I'm feeding my face.
Oh, they really feed you on those cruises.
And it's funny you should say about Oliver, because this lady came up to me and she says, I know you from someplace, don't I? Yeah, you're, wait a minute, because I sing in my show. I've obviously got to change your style when you're performing to different audiences.
You do a number from the Oliver?
I did something from Oliver, and I did something from Cabaret, other shows that I've been involved in. And she said, you know, I saw you in 1961 on Broadway playing the Artful Dodger. I says, well, did you enjoy it? She said, I thought you were great. She said, what have you been doing so far? You know, said that. What have you been doing? She didn't know about the Monkees.
No, of course
she knew about the Artful Dodger.
Yeah.
So it's funny, isn't it? People remember you for what they want to remember.
And lucky for you that you've got so many different areas to go.
Yeah, well, I like to perform on the stage, in the theatre. I've got a TV show in England that I start in June, which is a children's television show. I like working with children. I have 3 of my own children, 3 daughters.
Good.
And got one little daughter sitting in the hotel watching me, Jessie Jones. She's out there. Hello, Jessie Jones.
She made the trip with you,
She's probably showing her little plate, telling me she's eating her breakfast right now.
Good. Eat up right now.
I've eaten it, Daddy.
And don't
Please
forget, when
lock
Daddy
me in
comes
the
home,
closet.
when Daddy comes home, you say to him later today, hey, hey, where'd the monkeys?
Yeah.
Anyway, Davy, you look great. Take good care of yourself, and when you're in New York, come and visit us again.
And thanks for getting this all back from me. All those years, you know what I mean?
Thanks, Davy, very much.
pleasure.
Good luck to you, buddy. Right back with Mother Wonderful and Katie Kelly in the kitchen. And Hubie Brown coming up, too. Stay with us.